Yes, you guys, welcome back. As you can see, the sub's looking a bit more relaxed right now, to keep it real. As you guys already know, I'm still recovering from my surgery and I've been trying to work sitting on my computer chair, been trying to work standing up as well, and to be honest with you, it just ain't been working out for me, to be honest. I'm trying to heal up so I can get back to things quickly. Doctor's telling me I could be out between, 4 to 6 weeks. Absolutely peak right now, you guys, but the reality is the grind does not stop, and tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. UK time, we play away from home at Anfield against Liverpool. Now, for me, this game's going to be a bit of a battle between Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel. Both managers have shared a very similar history. They both managed Mainz at the start of their careers. They both went on to manage Borussia Dortmund as well, before making their own names managing Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain. However, other than a similar history, that's where the similarities end. Although both managers have been raised off the principle of gegenpressing, they have their own personal interpretations of that philosophy. Klopp has his heavy metal style of football where he wants to suffocate his opponents, he wants to attack, he wants to counter-press with intensity and destroy teams on the transition, whereas Thomas Tuchel, his interpretation on this philosophy is to have more control. It's about stifling your opposition, stifling your opponents, and then destroying them by targeting their weaknesses. For me, these two approaches are going to make for a fascinating game. At this point in time, a single point separates both us and Liverpool in the league table right now, so you can imagine there's a lot riding on both teams. In the past 6 games, Liverpool have lost 4, losing 4 games at home. And for me, you guys, do we have it in us to make it a 5th home loss in the bounce? I mean, it's actually mad to think that at the start of the season, both us and Liverpool were riding high in the table. And now looking at us right now, it's kind of unthinkable in that sense. Both teams have slipped off in the table, but tomorrow is an opportunity to turn things around. It's an opportunity for Liverpool to win some pride back at home. It's an opportunity for us to start getting more goals and rising up to get into a top 4 spot. And in today's match preview, guys, I'm going to break down Thomas Tuchel's press conference. I'm going to go through the predicted lineup and I'm going to give my match predictions as well. But before I get into anything, today's match preview is brought to you by OneFootball. With OneFootball, this is the perfect app to use to get all your pre-match news for the upcoming game. As you guys can see on screen, we can look at the details surrounding the game, the kickoff time. We can go to the league table to get an idea of just how tight this game is going to be. 1 point separating us right now. If we get that point, you guys, I feel very confident that we are going to find ourselves climbing up and securing the top 4 spot. And of course, you can learn about some certain match facts surrounding us versus Liverpool tomorrow. Did you know, for example, that Liverpool have won each of the last 4 Premier League games against us, netting 11 goals, conceding only 4. The only team to win 5 games in a row against the Blues in this competition is Blackburn all the way back in the 90s. So, Liverpool have an advantage tomorrow, but I feel like under Tuchel, his management, his style, his tactics, he knows how to stifle opposition teams. I feel like we can definitely turn this around tomorrow evening, you guys. So make sure in the description below, you download OneFootball. So many handy features. Learn all the latest news surrounding the club coming out today as well. It is an extensive hub surrounding this club, and you'll find everything you need to know in the description below. Now, we start things with the press conference, and it starts with some bad and some good news. Now, the bad news is that Thiago Silva won't be taking any part in the game tomorrow. On a positive note, Thiago is now training with the team again. However, his training session has come a bit too soon for him to be involved in the game. We did learn that Tammy Abraham won't be taking any part in tomorrow's game as well because he has suffered a small ankle knock on top of that. But good news is that Hudson-Odoi will be fit to take part in tomorrow's game. Now, to emphasize what Tuchel had to say about Tammy Abraham, I guess these were some encouraging words. Tuchel did mention that maybe Tammy's touch at this point in time hasn't been on point. However, he does have plans to push on with Tammy Abraham. So this is some positive news for Tammy in regards to his long-term future in the first team and getting more opportunities. It's bright for any young player to have that challenge and to impress the manager. But now we move on. Tuchel was asked about Liverpool's performance at this point in time, and I found Tuchel's answer, very intentional as always and very insightful. Tuchel focused on the lack of fans at Anfield. Now, we do know that with Liverpool, historically, their fans play a massive part in encouraging that team. They act as like that classic 12th man in a sense, and without the fans behind them, this could play a reason and a part behind some of the mistakes that we've been seeing at Liverpool and some of their struggles this season, on top of the injuries as well. That's also affected them. Tuchel was asked whether we are on the same level as Man City and Liverpool, with Tuchel saying that, we've got results against Atletico Madrid and against Man United, so in that sense, we can compete with these teams. And come on, you guys, it's not like we haven't beaten Liverpool or Man City before. I feel like we are going to get to those levels, but it's going to take time. And it's really going to see Tuchel take the team, the tactics, and the players to the next level from next season once he achieves his targets this season. Of course, his relationship with Klopp was discussed, with Tuchel mentioning that every single time they've interacted, it's always been extremely friendly, extremely enjoyable. They haven't actually had as much time to interact as much due to the fact that obviously when Klopp left Mainz, Tuchel was there for a few days, and vice versa at Dortmund as well. So it's good to know that there's that type of friendly nature behind both managers. And to end things, it was quite interesting. Tuchel was asked about the Euros. Now, of course, the Euros, seasons like this, players have objectives to play in their national teams, and in that sense, there's always going to be pressure on the manager to help, achieve the players' targets and goals to represent their nations in the Euros. Tuchel did state that he won't be falling for that pressure. He has his own personal job to do. I think maybe that's why it's been easier for him to, make the changes he's made in the team right now, because he has no emotional ties in that sense. And some players might feel like that's a bit peak right now, but this is football. This is professional football. It's something I'm sure they've been used to their whole careers. They'll have to keep getting used to that, you guys. And we now move on to the predictor lineup segment for today's video. And I guess when it comes to the formations we're going to see, I'm expecting us to continue to use a back three system. Now, for me, I'm always going to hold out hopes to see us playing a 4-3-3. For sure, that's going to come. Tuchel has used this formation throughout his career, so it's definitely going to come at some time. It's all a matter of when. But at this point in time, considering that Tammy won't be taking any part, and considering that, Giroud in games like this might not be the best focal point to use, I have a feeling that we are going to be seeing a false nine used in the game tomorrow. So for my two predicted lineups, I'm going to be focusing on false nine teams. Tuchel's ticked all areas when it comes to addressing the team defensively and in midfield. However, it still feels like he's trying to find that right attacking balance up front, which will come over time. So without wasting any more time, let's start with the first predicted lineup. As you guys can see up front, I've gone for Mount with Werner and Hudson-Odoi. At wing backs, I've gone for Ben and Reece James. In midfield, I've gone for Cover and Kante again. Defense, Rudy, Chris, Aspie, and Mendy in goal. Now my reasoning behind this lineup is that in that game versus Tottenham, we saw the introduction of a false nine. We saw that link-up play between Reece, Hudson-Odoi, and Mason Mount. That telepathic understanding of each other's game, the speed in which they played the ball, the opportunities they created, that invention we had down that side. I do feel like when you use a false nine system, you want to have two runners off that false nine player who are making runs and behind, and to do that, you need to have the pace. I do feel like with Hudson-Odoi maybe having more license and freedom in that sense, he could be a standout tactically for the team as well. And of course, Reece James offering that defensive solidity, offering that threat, and that link-up play alongside a free-roll Mason and Hudson-Odoi could be something to cause Liverpool a ton of issues. In midfield, I've maintained using Cover and Kante. Now, the reason for that is that Kante against United, single-handedly destroyed certain dangerous moments United produced because he was in the right position at the right time and made those crucial 50-50s at the right time too. There has to be more respect put on this guy's name. I don't understand how all of a sudden lots of people in the fan base are trying to act like Kante isn't world class and is a very limited, ball winning midfield player. It's just not accurate. And I think that game versus United was the best balance I saw between Cover and Kante, and I want to see that develop more as the season does go on. And on that note, I'm going to end things by saying I've gone for Ben, and the reason for that, as it was with Man United, is to have more pace in that team, which is something we're going to need to have, you guys. So that was my first predicted lineup. In the comments below, give your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree with it? If not, state who your team would be. And of course, for the second lineup, another false nine team. For this one, I've gone for Kai Havertz as a false nine. I've been doing this for a while, you guys. One day I'm going to get it right. Alongside him, Timo Werner, Mason Mount. Wingbacks, I've gone for Hudson-Odoi. I've gone for Ben Chilwell. I've gone for Cover. I've gone for Kante. The normal defense, and of course, forever Mendy in goal as well. Now, You know, Tuchel mentioned that if it wasn't for Hudson-Odoi getting taken off in the second half, even though he kind of contradicted himself by saying that there was also a tactical reason behind that sub, Kai would have played false nine in that game. It does feel like after all the training, after him recovering from his injuries, it feels like this could be the game he does get unleashed. And I'll be very curious to see how him and Werner could play off each other. I think for sure Mount and Kai, are they going to interfere with each other? No. You know, Mount's a very versatile player that can fulfill many tactical roles, and you know, I don't see that being an issue whatsoever. For me, you guys know my opinions on false nine Kai. I've been saying this for months and months. I feel that he has two positions. It's either false nine or playing as that number 8. And I think as a false nine right now in his current development, this would help him acclimatise more to the league quite quickly and focus more on his best attributes, which is attacking the spaces inside the box and finishing moves, and obviously his finishing ability too. For me, I feel like this could be an interesting front three to see. And, you know, on top of that, Kai has that ability to play the final ball perfectly. For someone like Timo Werner, you know, that pass is very important because Werner's all about the timing of his runs on the last line, on that shoulder of the defence. And at times, you know, he has suffered because of the bad service he's got throughout large parts of the season. For me, you know, I feel like maybe Tuchel could be looking to use Werner in this game. We're interested to see how he copes against Liverpool. I'm sure he's going to be on his A game because, of course, he had the possibility to sign for these guys. And yeah, you guys, on that note, that was my second predicted lineup out of the way. And now we end things with a match prediction. And you know what? I'm kind of caught in a crossroads. Like, a part of me feels like this is destined to be another draw game. I feel like both teams tactically can cancel each other out. I feel like if you look at Liverpool, yeah, their attack is devastating, but right now, you know, their defense is, you know, very porous at this point in time. There's mistakes there. You know, there's not that same confidence in the back line anymore. And with us, on the other hand, our defense is amazing, but our attack is a bit stifled. So I could see it very, very easily becoming a 1-1, but I'm actually going for a 2-1. And I think based on the fact that I feel Liverpool's defence has more individual errors in them, I feel like there could be moments in which we could take advantage in certain situations. And I'm going to be bold, so I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to us. So that was, you guys, that was a match preview. Leave your thoughts and opinions below. How do you feel against Liverpool? Do you think that Tuchel can get the win tomorrow? Get that big W that we need to get ourselves into the top 4? Let us all know. And on that note, I'm EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.